Hello, happy Monday and happy Mind Day. Yeah, I hope you had good weekend. And I don't know, in the state it was last week was the spring break, so I hope you had again a nice time. Today, I'm gonna go into talking about the quantum self. Okay, we have seen we continue again. What I share here is not my opinion. We're talking about quantum leader and this book particularly. So we are gonna tackle in this episode, as you see, the features of quantum self and how to apply them to business. In the previous earlier episode, we have seen that when our brain needs to rewire itself, when it needs to think out of the box, and we called it at that time quantum thinking. I don't know, have you watched the previous episode? It's We talked about the quantum thinking and how the brain rewires itself. Today, so when the brain does this, a third kind of structure dimension get into place, and we call it here, this requires some features for the brain to start functioning at this level, this dimension of the quantum thinking. There is a third model of yourself that's gonna be engaged at this level, and we call it the quantum self. Today in this episode, I'm gonna go and talk about 7 features of your quantum self. And these features, actually, the most complicated one is the seventh. The one that I love the most is the fourth. And the most important, in my opinion, is the sixth. So we're gonna talk about this. I don't know if you are excited to know about this feature in you. As I said, hi Era, it's always good to see you, my quantum friend. And I like to know if you are excited to find new features in you. Maybe you know that these features are also available to you, but maybe you don't know how to activate them. Maybe they are available and you are using them, but again, you don't know that they are always available, and yeah, then you can use them into command. So today I'm gonna talk about your 7 features of your quantum self, and we're gonna see how this gonna affect when we start all functioning and activating our quantum self, how businesses, how the organizations are gonna be affected. And once you start working from this level and running businesses around the world from this level, many things many things are going to change, and we are already seeing shift in the business world a lot, in terms of management, in terms of organization, vision, the message, business message, the speech when we talk about business. Definitely, any change takes time. It's gonna be slow. Hi, Mo. Good to see you. Happy to have you. All right. So today, guys, my friend, the idea of quantum self derives from the characteristics of the new science, the quantum physics. And we all know, I don't know, have you heard about quantum physics, or are you knowledgeable of any quantum physics science? I like to hear from you in the comment box here. So today we're going to go through the quantum self, because it's called quantum self not by mistake, not because it's like we don't know what to call them, because nowadays we human are physical systems. Okay, and we are fully we are parts of this physical world, and like anything around us, our bodies, our system obey to the same laws as everything else around us in the universe, right? Like the trees, the stars, the soil, the moon, all these are governed by laws in the universe. We are also part of this universe, so we obey the same laws. So far, the science has, progressed a lot. And at the moment, the best physics, guys, we have so far now for us to describe and understand how the universe works is the quantum physics. I know we have learned about Newtonian physics in school, but we have now moved and shifted, and there are a lot of new discoveries, and we kind of the quantum physics are the most um, the bombs, science bomb that we are now using. So I like to call myself, I'm ultimately a quantum system. You are too a quantum system, right? I don't know if you feel it, but this is how the quantum physics describe it. We are quantum systems. And as such, ourselves have qualities that belong to this dimension, the quantum dimension. Quantum physics, in quantum physics, we learned from previous also episodes that if I look at something, I'm affecting the behavior of the cells and vice versa. We are connected, we are all interwoven into a field of energy. We're connected at the cell level and the electron level. So we are part of a big, huge system. Today, our focus is about the quantum self and the 7 qualities or features of of yourself. We're gonna start with the feature number 1. It's good. The quantum self, it's both and. Okay. This is I took these from, again. This is the book, and I I will let you decide if this makes sense to you. It makes a lot of sense to me. And the quantum self, when I say I am me, definitely. I am my genes, I am my history, I am my experience, but I am also all those others with whom I live, with whom I work, and I share experience with. This is very important that we are always connected, and I'm not an isolated system. I am includes me. There is a private self of part of me, and there is the public part of me that is including all the others, my family, my social network, my work, everything. This is why in the quantum concept of running business, it's very important for a business to nourish you as this, you as you, and you as the all, your family, your social network, your everything, your public self. And this is, I don't know if here any of you will who's watching have has experienced that sometimes you really need to be recognized, not only as a public self. You have your emotions, you have your thoughts. So, and now from now on, there is a need from in the business world, from the business organizations, to acknowledge that our quantum self is us, my genes, my emotions, my thoughts, but also I am my experience, my family, my connection. I'm not a separated entity. The second feature of your quantum self, so remember, sometimes it's not only about you, it's not only your problem. Maybe you're getting affected by external connections positively or negatively. So you are both and. Okay. The second feature of the quantum self is the quantum self is holistic. What does this mean? Myself, yourself, is interwoven with and defined by everything else that exists. I am in nature, and nature is in me. I am in the universe, and the universe is in me. I am part of all others, and all others are part of me. Okay, so I'm not just and like a system who is Sarah, like this body, this who's present in front of me. No, I even everything around me, and not and listen to this. You are also the system, and you affect the system, that you are part of it. So I am in nature and nature is in me, and also I'm affected by nature and I affect nature. This means that myself is integrated and dynamic. Each part of me who feels that, so there are different parts of you, different personalities, different characters, different, let's call them sub-self. We all do, we all go through these experiences, very intimate experiences about ourselves, that we feel like sometimes we have different personalities, different characters. We have sub-selves are inside of us. So when like to put this, I'm not just a natural system, but natural systems are affected by me and I'm affected by them. So when we say here, when you say I, your I, okay, the I am is this whole chorus of conversations in harmony. So when you say I, it's not only one person here, it's not a small part, it's this wholeness. And this is why your quantum self, in quantum physics, in the quantum world, there is always a wholeness. It's a holistic system. So, can you imagine how big you are? Yourself can be, if you are the world, the universe, and the universe is in you, and you are affected by the universe, and you affect the universe at the same time. Okay, let's move to feature number 3. The quantum self is self-organizing, meaning yourself has no hard limits, no sets, no boundaries. It has, you might feel that sometimes you have a character, but this is not definite. It can be changed, it can be molded, and the quantum self is always able to reinvent itself and rewire its brain. And this is an amazing feature. You have it inside of you. I have it. Every single human being has this dimension, but it doesn't mean we are using it and we are activating it, or maybe sometimes we use it by, let's say, coincidentally. But you can use it. It's on your demand. Your soul, when we say your soul here, and we all know that we have a soul, we're not only this body, but our soul, my friend, is not in the sense of like it's a little box inside my brain. No, your soul is a channel between you and the ground state of reality, the presence, the universe, life, call it whatever. So your soul is expressed through all of you, through your thoughts, through your emotions, through your feelings, through your body language. Okay, when you move, when you talk, your soul is everywhere within you and outside of you. And all of you, all of me, all of my experience are or have a soulful dimension. So this includes everything, even your work. And I'm not, when I say even, it should be your work. Work takes a big chunk of our life, occupies a huge chunk of our daily time, right? So our soul is in the work. Our soul comes with us to the office, to the institution, to the business. And why I'm saying this, because I want you to have this in mind. When you work, think of your soul. Where is it? What is telling you? And it's come channeling to you all the time. Things through your thoughts, through your emotions, through your body language. Pay attention to this. Do you feel that? Do you feel your soul when you're working, when you're busy, when you are in office in a meeting? I like to hear your feedback. Like, let me know here about this in the comment. The fourth dimension, which I love the most, and I always, if you follow my page, if you follow my content, you see how much I talk about this feature. This is you. Quantum self is free. It's so free. What does this mean? When we say quantum self is free, it means it's not determined. Yourself, this dimension of you, is not determined by anything, by any experience, by any environmental conditions, by any social conditioning, by any connection, specific connection. The quantum self is an active agent in the world and not a passive victim. It's it can create, it can choose any thought, any choice, anything she or this aspect wants from you, from the world. I want to say this and I put it here. Your quantum self is a self that chooses, and through choices it chooses itself. This is, I know, a quantum language, and it's okay. I know, maybe I hope you understand it, but read it 2 3 times and it's gonna resonate or make you feel something. Do you understand? I want to ask you, and let me know in the comment box. Do you understand this? Quantum self is a self that chooses, makes choices, and through these choices it chooses itself. In other words, your quantum self makes the world. You are free. This part of you is always free to make choices, and based on these choices you live a life, a lifestyle. You choose to be in a way, in a look, in a position, anywhere, based on your choice, and you start creating the world you want from this perspective. You are free. So, and this is in you, within you, and you have this privilege to make choices and find yourself through those choices. This is the quantum self. This feature is big. Is once we start living life by activating this awareness, this feature, this quality, you're gonna see that you're gonna be so much empowered from within. Quantum self is responsible. It's very important to keep this in mind. Your quantum self is a responsible dimension. It means your quantum self, since it lives in a participatory universe, since it creates, it chooses, it it's very important to be aware that you are an active agent of reality. You are a catalyst. You're not passive. You are this ingredient. Wherever you add it to any equation or to anything, it creates difference. So you are a co-creator of the world in which you live. You're not in a passive position. You are an active agent in the equation. And once you realize this, you take ownership of whatever happens in your life, in your work, in your business. And the questions you ask, my friends, are and the thoughts that you think, and the emotions, and the fantasies that you feel, the decisions that you make, all this create the world for you and around you, and you affect, by creating this world, the world of the other people, the worlds. So again, because don't forget this, I am in the universe and the universe is in me. I am in nature and nature is in me. This is the quantum physics, what said, where there is no boundaries, there is no solid, everything is malleable, and we are all swimming in one ocean. So one ripple effect can create a lot of differences. So keep this in mind. Your quantum self is an active agent. You are so powerful. You are a co creator of the world in which you live. You're not passive at all. And I like this in the sense, I took this and wrote it here because I wanted you to repeat it with for yourself. If you close your eyes and read, and I'm gonna read this and let me know how you feel. I am the world, and if that world is to be different place, it's because I will make it different. This is so big. This is not philosophy, quantum physics. This is a law in quantum physics. This is applicable. And you have this dimension yourself. The quantum aspect of who you are is this: I am the world. And if there is any difference that I want to see in the world, I have to create it. I will make it. It's big, it's important. How do you feel about that? Do you like this? Do you like to have this powerful tool, powerful feature in hand? Okay. I love this. It makes me, I resonate highly, and I understand the power of, I manifested so many changes the minute I activated my quantum self. And when I started running my life, my business, my daily lifestyle from this awareness, from this dimension, everything has changed. And the change is so beautiful and big. This is the nice part. I told you the what's feature number 6. We're gonna move to this. This is very important also to remember and to listen to this aspect and this feature. Your quantum self is a questioning self. The questions we ask give us the answers that we get. Very important point, and always pay attention to the question that you ask. The questions, when we ask a question at the conscious level and dimension of our mind, our brain, we create the answer. When you ask a question, you are question and answer are like, always like interwoven together. So this is the question and this is the answer, so they are together. You ask a question, and somewhere you're co-creating the answer. So your quantum self is a questioning self. It has this feature. What does this mean? It means that you are, and it's absolutely your nature, to question everything, to question rules, to question boundaries, to question beliefs. Everything that comes your way, your quantum self, because it's free, because it's responsible, it's gonna question everything. So any rule that is imposed on you, on your daily life, any laws made, man-made laws in organization, in businesses, you're gonna question them. Any boundaries that the society or the governments have put, or the economy has economic systems have put, you're gonna question them. And this is very important. Listen to your questions. The quantum self is like the fish. This is very nice. I got this. So this is a pond here, and this is a fish swimming here. So and this is a nice example. I got it from the book. So the quantum self is like the fish that jumps above the fishbowl and has the greater perspective to see where it comes from. So when it jumped, she saw where she comes from, and she realized that she had another perspective. She got another perspective of the world. So the world is not only where I swim. The world is, there is another world outside my fishbowl. And this is, now we talk about the meta universe. This is a meta perspective. This is a meta perception of the things, and this is where you get your creativity. This is when you get a creative idea. It's like the fish that jumped once from the fishbowl and have seen something new, unusual. So this is the secret of the creative minds, and this is how we start transforming and growing and embracing our quantum dimension. And Superman, Hulk, Batman, this is a night. These are like, these are cartoon figures, but this is true. We have this dimension, but unfortunately we are not in touch maybe with this dimension. We are not aware sometimes, but we're gonna be there activating this very soon. The last and the most complicated feature is the quantum self is spiritual. Spiritual, I'm not talking here about not religious, spiritual in the nature, like the nature of things. This is a body, it's not spiritual, it's materialistic, it's solid, it's tangible. Anything that is in this at the spirit, like we cannot touch it, is spiritual, and it belongs to the unseen spiritual world. Your quantum self is spiritual, and with this means, why we say this, because we want to highlight that your quantum self is always steeped and anchored in meaning, in vision, in values. Your quantum self, which is you, me, my quantum self, is, again, just to remind you, always imagine this life, this universe. Now I am swimming in an ocean of energy, of waves, of frequencies. So this is a field. We are in a field, okay? What my eyes see is not everything. This is just a small, tiny part of what exists, what is, okay? So your quantum self is this excitation, this wave, like the ocean, and you see the one wave, like, on the ocean. This is you, this is yourself, this is me. And we are the ocean, and we are an excitation of, this potentiality, this presence, this huge um, existence. Okay, so you have a necessity to always ask questions, because if you try to convince yourself that this is it, I'm the body, I'm Sarah, I'm a woman, I'm a mom, I do this, that's it, you're gonna feel, many of people go into existential crisis. And this is because it's like, exactly like the thirst to water, like the hunger to food. This is your soul, this is your quantum self. It's gonna come and hit you one day and ask you, why? What is it for? Why you're doing this? What's the ultimate purpose of that? And this is your, always the quantum self seek values, seek vision, seek fulfillment. And this is why, even sometimes when you get the best job in the world, in the best company, there is something within you that's gonna always feel that it's empty. There is a hole that's not being filled. And this is why you come, and your quantum self is gonna come always and tell you, why? What for? And what could it be otherwise? So this is your spirit is the biggest part of you. Us are the small tiny part. And last night I was talking with my twins. They are 14 years old, and they asked me a question about what will happen if we die. And it was 12 midnight. Actually, I was in bed, and I told them it's a long story, but if I want to summarize it as, you are, this body is the bulb, and if the bulb goes, like it explodes, Will the electricity and the current and the cable and the source vanish? They said no. Said this is what happened. If the body goes, you are much bigger than that. You are this electricity, you are this current. So nothing happened. And it's so important to realize when you are in this bulb that you are all this universe. All these features are inside, within, outside, without you. Why I'm telling you this, and what does this has to do with business, right? There are features in the these features in the self. They are gonna show up sooner or later. You cannot suppress them for a long time. Okay, and so this is, imagine me a human being. It happened to me. I embraced my quantum self when I was in a full-time job in an organization in the private sector, and I started asking the big questions, and then I couldn't go to my work anymore. Imagine this happens at the scale of a bigger scale, like thousands of people go through this. It's going to be a problem. And now organizations around the world and businesses around the world, they are realizing that humans are their assets. It's not about any product, not about any service. It's about the human being. And we organization is organizing humans. Business is running humans services and products. So we are the number one in the equation of business, the business world and the economy. So there is a shift. Once we embrace our quantum self, their business is this gonna be impacting the way we run business and the way we run our organizations. So there are needs and potentiality and requirement for businesses to create the right infrastructure for me as someone who embraced, who activated my quantum aspect, my quantum self, to find my place. And this infrastructure in the business, you can start doing if you start your own business, or you are in a position of a leadership position in your company and organization. There are companies here. This book has a lot of case studies, and I know that by this book, Dana Zohar, she says there's no yet a quantum organization as is, but there are some big names. They are shifting and making quantum changes in their management, in their organizational structure, like Volvo, like Haier, like Marks and Spencer. What is a business, quantum business? What does it mean to run to create the infrastructure to receive people living their reality, working, coming to work with their quantum selves? This we're gonna talk about very quickly, just gonna call them the basics of this infrastructure for you to have a quantum business, to lead to a quantum organization. And this is very important. The infrastructure should be holistic. Okay, I mean, holistic here is very important to understand. In the quantum business model, the infrastructure does encourage creating a relationship between leaders, between employees, between managers. There are no separation between divisions, between functional group. And the infrastructure of a quantum business infrastructure should be considering your emotion, you as a human being with feelings, with needs, your social needs, your ecological needs. So you're gonna see in 10 years, maybe 15 years, there will be a lot of changes of how businesses are run, how offices are done, how breaks are like during the business hours are done, because we are not this body, and enough is enough. We cannot hide ourselves anymore. We're not, this is the real slavery that has been into the corporate world running and for centuries now, but we're heading to a better working condition, trust me. Number 2, flexible and responsive. The quantum business infrastructure is flexible and responsive, meaning the business should be like no walls. Okay, it's like no boundaries between responsibilities, no boundaries between identities, and the system, the technology should always be embraced to serve the people, to serve the human being, body, mind, and soul. So there will be a lot of changes in the structure to make it more malleable to embrace and activate your potential as a person with a quantum self. The third one, the quantum infrastructure, business infrastructure, is bottom up and self organizing. I don't know if anybody here is fed up from the hierarchies in the organizations, in the business, from the stiff structures and the control freaks around you. We have seen this. It's a huge limitations. It's heavy, and this is why after even joining our dream job, sometimes we feel like we don't belong anymore. We're tired. We're not happy. We're instead of being resourceful, we're becoming dry and from inside and not motivated. This is because of the hierarchy, because of the top down approach in managing and leading businesses and companies. The quantum infrastructure is the opposite. It nourishes you as a human and as part of this organization to make you uh, more creative, to activate all your potential and your creative mind and your quantum thinking. And the fourth feature, which is the most important in my opinion, and this is what I'm used to miss a lot in the corporate world, playful, and it's there is no room in the existing Newtonian companies to have playful attitude. Why? I tell you why. Because all these existing conventional management approaches are results oriented. So when you have put in mind a result at the end of the process, you don't want to take any risk not to reach this result. So the management and the CEOs and the leaders in the organization, they are frightened of failure, so they are focused, and they don't allow any creativity, they don't allow any unpredictable ideas or actions to take place, because they want to reach the results. However, okay, in the quantum business world, this is not the way. And she talked about here Volvo, how much they changed their meeting, how they run their meeting, their team meetings, and how they manage their top management meeting. They don't put results, they work based on the creativity of the team and the dynamism that's going to generate from interacting mind to mind, human mind to human mind. So the quantum business model allows, not only allows, encourages playful attitude, encourage you to play, and they reward those people who have the playful attitude, because they know that this is where you start tapping into your quantum self, into your highest creative mind. And in the quantum business infrastructure, they will recognize you, they will be recognizing you if you're daydreaming, they will be applauding to you if they see you gazing into the space, the totally opposite way if you are now in the current existing Newtonian companies and organization. So enjoy, have those playfulness when if you are your own business owner, self-employed, and you run your own business. Do this, don't be scared. And the opposite, this is where you're gonna really activate and trigger and fire up all your potential and resources. And the fifth feature of the quantum infrastructure is a quantum business is vision centered and value driven. And this is very important. This is why I know that you guys are all the businesses around the world, all the organizations around the world are run based on creating fear, increasing the fear index at the customers. And they always create a situation of scarcity, a situation of manipulating. And we always feel like, they create an illusion, so we go and run to buy something. And this is not a healthy, and our quantum self is not gonna be anymore triggered by fear, by scarcity, by manipulation, and the opposite. So the quantum alternative, the quantum infrastructure, is gonna be based on seeking meanings, on values, on dreams, on creativity, create, fantasies. So you're gonna be more triggered to tap into your dreams, into going into deep meaning of things. And this is how you're gonna be running the business and creating this infrastructure that supports this. I don't know if you are happy to see this happening. For me, I can't wait to have this. And I apply all these in my way of running my business and coaching people who join my business to think this way, because we are beautiful beings and we have no limits, no boundaries. And it's so important to recognize this and recognize that we need to nurture these features in us, because this is the best way to tap into our absolute intelligence. And when I say absolute intelligence, it includes your IQ, and include your emotional intelligence and your spiritual intelligence. So you're gonna be this whole that is this engine that's functioned on the turbo option. So because of the qualities of the person, and because we are always in the equation, we have to tap and find out what motivates us, what drives you as you, what drives Sarah in this place. And this is what we're gonna be talking about in our next episode, next Bind Day. So it's very important to embrace and go within activating those features. And next time we're gonna be talking about the real motivation, the real factors, element that drive you to perform at your best and to give your best and to live a life of impact, and a life with a strong print in the business world. Because business, we live in the business bubble. We buy food, we share, we offer services. We are always into a business relationship with anything we do during our day. So that's very important. I thank you for watching. I hope it wasn't too long and it was interesting, but let it sink. And yeah, I'm optimistic things are going into becoming better and better. And have a lovely end of this day, and I'll see you next Monday. Cheers. Oh, thank you, Era. I'm happy to hear that. All right, see you next Monday. Quantum leaps. Yep.